The control room of Earth's Deep Space Command was quiet, until a soft, broken signal crackled through the speakers. Double quotes, ... This is ... EREBUS ... Not alone. Everyone froze. The Erebus was Earth's most advanced warship. It vanished over 40 years ago during a mission near the edge of explored space. Most believed it had been destroyed by a sudden black hole or a silent alien ambush. The ship and its 312 crew members were declared lost forever. But now, after decades of silence, it had spoken again. Technicians stared at the screen. The signal was weak, barely there, but real. The ship's unique call sign matched perfectly. Commander. Darius Rhodes was called in from retirement. His face was older now, lined with the weight of old battles. But no one knew the Erebus better than him. He had trained most of its original crew. Some had been close friends. When Rhodes entered the room, the signal played again. ... Not alone. We changed. He stood still. His heart beat heavy in his chest. Is this real? He asked. The lead technician nodded. Yes, Commander. It's coming from Sector 9, right, where the Erebus vanished. Rhodes stepped closer to the main display. Send a scout ship. Quiet. No wide broadcasts. If this is some kind of trap, we don't want to alert the galaxy. The order was given. 3 days later, the scout ship Falcon's Eye reached Sector 9. The area was a cold, empty stretch of space full of asteroid debris and dead signals. But just outside the edge of the sector, the ship saw something massive. Emerging from a dark nebula cloud, a ship silent, floating, but it was not the same as before. The hull design had changed. Glowing lines ran along the metal surface, alien in shape and color. The engines were no longer visible. Instead, strange crystal rings rotated in the air behind it, glowing with a soft blue light. The ship looked like it had been rebuilt. Not by human hands, yet the name engraved near the nose was unmistakable. ERSEREBUS. Rhodes flew out to the site in a secure diplomatic shuttle. As he approached, he could feel something cold in his stomach. This ship, his old friend, had returned, but it had brought something back with it. As his shuttle docked, the ship opened its hangar doors automatically. No signal needed, no request sent. It was like the Erebus recognized him. Inside, the air was clean. The lights worked. Gravity was active. Every system seemed to be running smoothly. But the corridors were empty. No crew, no sound, not even the hum of an engine. Scan for life, Rhodes ordered. Nothing, replied his second in command. No heat, no movement. It's like no one's home. Yet the ship was warm. They walked through the ship slowly, checking each deck. The walls had strange symbols etched into them, like a mix of human language and something else. Doors opened on their own. Lights responded before anyone touched a switch. In the command center, the captain's chair was still in place. Small pendant hung on its armrest. Rhodes picked it up. It belonged to Captain Lynn, his old student, and the last person to command the Erebus. He closed his hand around it, his jaw tight. Where are you, Lynn? He whispered. Then, a screen on the bridge turned on by itself. It played a message. Not in video, not even in voice, just text. We chose change. We saw what comes. Do not fear, U.S. Listen. Rhodes stepped back. The message faded. A new word appeared. Begin. Rhodes turned to his team. No one touches anything until we understand what this is. But deep down, something in him already knew. This wasn't just a ghost ship. This was a message, a warning, and it had come home. Asterisk. The sky around Earth shifted that day. It began with a blink. Satellites watching the outer rim caught it first. A sudden flicker in the void, like a mirror breaking for a second. Then something massive slipped through the stars. It wasn't just Erebus anymore. The ship had changed. It didn't just return, it arrived. Inside Earth Command, panic quietly bloomed. Every telescope, sensor, and orbital defense station pointed at the approaching vessel. It was flying straight toward Earth space, but not at full speed. It drifted slowly, like it wanted to be seen. Commander Rhodes stood at the center of the strategy room. He had just returned from boarding the vessel. The images he brought back had already shaken the council. No crew, no damage, and no explanation for how it still worked. But now, the ship moved on its own. "It's not hostile," Rhodes said calmly. "If it wanted to strike, it could have already." This is a message." General Ashir shook his head. "It's a ghost. You said it yourself, no life signs. Then how is it moving?" Rhodes looked at the live feed. The crystal rings behind. The Erebus spun slowly, pulsing with deep blue light. The engines didn't look like engines anymore. They looked like something alive. The president of the Unified Earth Council made the call. "Let it enter orbit. We need answers." "Commander." "Rhodes, we want you back on board." Rhodes didn't argue. As Rhodes' shuttle reached the Erebus, something new happened. The ship lit up. Lights blinked on across the hull. Strange symbols ran across its surface like veins of glowing silver. The Erebus looked awake. When he entered the main corridor, the lights followed his steps, as if the ship recognized him again. This time, a new door had opened. Not part of the original design. It led down deep into the engineering core, an area sealed off even to original crew members. Rhodes hesitated, then stepped inside. The chamber below was not built by humans. It was smooth, curved, glowing with soft blue lines. At the center stood a structure half machine, half crystal-shaped like a tree of light. It hummed gently. At its base sat another orb, like the one he saw before. As he approached, the orb flickered and projected a hologram. It showed Captain Lin, but her eyes glowed. Her voice echoed, not quite human. "We are here. We saw the storm. We touched the mind of something old, and it gave us a choice." Rhodes swallowed hard. The hologram continued. "We left our bodies. We became something new. We bring a gift and a warning." Then it stopped. Behind the tree-shaped machine, the wall cracked open. Another room revealed itself, filled with rows of objects wrapped in crystal. Weapons, devices, tech beyond anything Earth had seen. Some floated in air. Some moved on their own. Rhodes stepped back. Whatever this ship had touched, it wasn't natural. It wasn't safe. But it wasn't evil either. Back at command, Earth scientists scanned the ship's approach patterns. One noticed something odd. "The ship's path isn't just a straight orbit," she said. "It's drawing something." "What?" the general asked. She rotated the simulation. "It's drawing Earth's ancient language Morse code. One word, repeated over and over." She pressed a button. The translation showed up on screen. Listen, Earth had just been given a second chance, but not without a price. Something was coming. And Erebus wasn't just back. It was warning them to prepare. For what? No one knew. But the void had changed it. And now it had returned. The ship was breathing. At least, that's how it felt. When Rhodes stepped back onto the Erebus, the walls pulsed faintly like a slow heartbeat, hidden beneath metal and silence. The lights dimmed and brightened, as if syncing with his presence. But no footsteps echoed. No voices replied. No laughter. No shouting. Just the hum. A hum not made by engines. Commander Rhodes moved deeper into the ship, flanked by a new science team. Drones floated behind them, recording everything. "We're reading full power," said Dr. Maris, the lead engineer. "But nothing shows where it's coming from. There's no reactor, no fuel lines, no thermal signature." It's like ... the ship is alive. They passed the old crew quarters, each one untouched, beds made, gear still hanging, coffee cups still sitting on desks, frozen in time. But no one was there, not a single body, not a trace of struggle. They reached the mess hall. A tray sat on the table, halfway to someone's mouth, fork still in hand, but there was no one in the chair. Did they just vanish? One tech whispered. Rhodes didn't answer. He was staring at a large black screen on the wall. Without warning, it turned on. No one touched it. The screen showed a video. Not footage, something else. It looked like a memory. People walked the ship's halls, smiling, laughing, working. Familiar faces. Rhodes recognized some young crew, old friends. But they moved strangely. Their eyes glowed faintly. Their movements were too smooth, too perfect. Then the video shifted. The crew gathered around a large sphere, the same kind now resting in engineering. The light pulsed, brighter, brighter until everything went white. Then the screen went black again. The room was quiet. What was that? Morris whispered. Before Rhodes could reply, the ship spoke, not in sound, in thought. All devices shut down. All lights turned red. A single word appeared on every surface. AWAK. Suddenly, the medical bay doors opened by themselves. Drawn by curiosity and dread, Rhodes led the team inside. What they found didn't make sense. There were CRYO-pods, dozens, each one empty. Except for one. Inside it, floating, was a shimmering cloud of light twisting, pulsing, reacting to their presence. The scanner tried to read it. Life form detected, not human, not alien, UNK-OWD. Then the pod released a voice. It was Lynn, again, but different. We are not bodies anymore. We saw time. We saw war. The body was too slow, too fragile. So we left it behind. Rhodes stepped back. The voice continued. We are crew. Still, we are ship. We are message. Maris looked pale. They uploaded their minds into the Erebus. No, Rhodes whispered. They became the Erebus. He turned toward the main panel. Why did you come back? No voice answered this time. Only the orb, now glowing, brighter than ever. Its glow began spreading, moving along the floor, the walls, like vines of light. And then another door opened. This one was hidden behind the medbay wall. No map had it. No human ever built it. Rhodes stared into the dark tunnel, revealed beyond. His hand hovered near his gun, not out of fear, but instinct. They stepped inside, not knowing if they were still guests or now the crew. The walls moved, not fast, not loud, but slowly, like the ship was breathing deeper now. Rhodes felt it under his boots. The deck plates no longer felt like metal. They felt warm. Alive. The hidden tunnel stretched far below the ship's old maps. It was smooth and curved, made of the same glowing blue material as the orb. There were no wires, no lights, yet everything glowed with a soft hum that pressed against the mind. Commander, Maris whispered, this wasn't part of any Earth design. I know, Rhodes replied. They walked in silence until the path opened into a circular chamber. In the center floated a sphere larger than before. It hovered in the air, spinning slowly. As Rhodes stepped closer, the orb pulsed, and then it touched his mind. He staggered back, gasping. But he wasn't in the chamber anymore. He was somewhere else. In his mind, Rhodes saw stars stretch across the sky. A distant planet loomed ahead. The Erebus flew toward it, broken, burning, damaged. The crew inside screamed over failing systems. Then, from the darkness, it appeared. A being made of light and data. No body, no ship, just presence. It didn't speak. It showed them a future, a war coming from beyond known space, not something huge, something cold, something that eats stars. The Erebus was dying. The being offered a deal. You can die as you are, or rise as something more. The crew made a choice. They stepped into the light, and they were changed. Rhodes gasped and dropped to his knees. The memory vanished. His team rushed to him. What happened? Are you okay? He nodded slowly. I saw what they saw. He looked. At the orb, they didn't just find something. They made a deal. The orb glowed again. This time, it shared more. A voice echoed in the room, dozens of voices, layered into one. We chose to survive. We chose knowledge. But we were not allowed to return. Now we must warn. It comes. It feeds. Dr. Maris whispered. What is it? No answer came. Instead, the orb expanded and formed a map in the air. Star map. A section of the galaxy blinked red. Then it turned black dot star systems. Disappeared dot one after another dot, and the blackness moved toward Earth. We have to show this to the Council, Maris said, trembling. This is an extinction-level threat. Rhodes stared at the glowing sphere. No, he said quietly. It's worse. He turned to the group. They didn't come back to ask for help. They came to prepare us. Because when this thing arrives, we either fight with what they became, he looked back at the orb, or we die as what we are. The chamber lights shifted again. The orb shrank, dimmed, and floated toward Rhodes. It hovered inches from his chest. Then it entered him. His eyes glowed. His voice changed, layered, deep, echoing, but only for a second. Then he collapsed. Rhodes woke up in silence, but it wasn't the ship around him. He heard first. It was the voices in his head. Not loud, not angry, just waiting. He opened his eyes. Everything looked sharper. The lights glowed softer. He could feel the hum in the walls, like music under the surface. Maris stood nearby, scanning him. Sir, she whispered, your vitals. They're not normal. Anymore. Rhodes slowly sat up. I saw them. Who? He looked straight at her. The crew. The real crew. The orb had shown him everything. Not in words. In feelings. In images. In memories that weren't his. The Erebus crew hadn't died. They had left their bodies. One by one. At first, they resisted the alien offer. They wanted to return home. But then the being, whatever it was, showed them what was coming. A dark, star-eating force unlike anything in the known galaxy. Time was short. So, the crew chose survival. They uploaded their minds into the ship itself. Their thoughts, memories, and voices were now part of the walls. The lights, the engines. They aren't. Ghosts, Rhodes said slowly. They're the ship. Maris stared at him. That's impossible. They can see through its sensors. Speak through the speakers. They guide the ship from inside. He placed a hand on the wall. And now they've added me. At that moment, the room lights shifted. Blue lines spread across the ceiling, drawing shapes like DNA, but not human. The ship was speaking, through patterns, through motion, through thought. And Rhodes understood. The crew had changed, not just in form, but in purpose. They had seen war far worse than anything Earth had known. Something was coming that didn't talk, didn't feel, didn't stop. And the only way to fight it was to become more than human. They call themselves the Echo, Rhodes said aloud. Maris blinked. What? That's what they became. Echoes of thought. Still themselves, but also one. He turned to her, voice steady. They brought the ship home because Earth has a choice now. In another chamber, the Echo activated a new system. Chambers slid open, revealing strange suits, part armor, part living metal. Each one pulsed gently, waiting. "These are gifts," the voices said in Rhodes' head. "Tools, weapons, armor, not for war, for survival." Then came the question, not from the ship, but from Mars. If this is true, why didn't they just return as themselves? Rhodes looked down. "They can't. Their bodies are gone." He paused. "And if we choose to join them, ours will be too." The choice now stood before Earth's leaders: use what the Erebus brought and evolve, or stay human and risk everything. But even before that decision could be made, another message flashed through the ship's systems. A warning. One word repeated. Days. 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 It was coming. And Earth wasn't ready. Asterisk. A countdown had started. No one pressed a button. No one gave a command. But across Earth's skies, a strange signal began to pulse from the Erebus. Every screen, every satellite, every broadcast tower, one single word appeared in every language. Days. Then a number. 7 at Earth Command. Alarms didn't ring, because this time, silence was worse. Leaders sat around the table, staring at the data. Scientists spoke fast, nervous. The signal was real. It was spreading. Even civilian devices were picking it up. And at the center of it all was the Erebus, floating in orbit, glowing brighter than ever. Commander Rhodes stood in the room, different now. He didn't say much. He didn't have to. They could see it in his eyes. Something inside him had changed. He could hear the echo, feel the ship's thoughts brushing against his own like whispers on skin. What happens in 7 days? The president asked. Rhodes spoke calmly. Something arrives. Something that can end us. You mean this threat? The crew saw? He nodded. Yes. They call it the hollow tide. He walked to the hologram table and activated the map. The galaxy lit up with hundreds of red marked star systems already gone. Systems Earth once traded with, visited, lived. In now black voids. Rhodes pointed at the trail. They eat light, planets, suns, and they're getting closer. A councilwoman asked, "Why now? Why come back after 40 years?" Rhodes looked toward the window. They weren't allowed to come back until the countdown began. Back on the Erebus, the ship shifted again. A new chamber opened, one that hadn't been there even days before. Inside, a single device floated in the air. It looked like a chair, no wires, no screens, just soft blue light. The echo spoke into Rhodes' thoughts. One human must speak. One voice must carry. One mind must warn. Rhodes sat in the device. He didn't vanish, but his mind reached out. Suddenly, every broadcast in the solar system shifted. Phones, TVS, radios, even old ships. Near Jupiter heard the voice. Rhodes' voice, but layered, echoed deeper. This is not a drill. The crew of the Erebus lives, but not as you knew them. They became part of something greater, to return with a message. In 7 days, something will arrive. Something that cannot be stopped with bullets or words. It is blind, it is hungry, and it will not reason. We offer Earth a choice. Take what we brought and evolve, or hold on to fear and fall. Decide, but do it fast, because the holotide doesn't wait. All over Earth, people froze. Farmers, children, soldiers, politicians, all hearing the same thing. Even those who didn't understand what it meant felt the weight of it in their chest. In the void, far beyond Mars, something stirred, invisible to Earth's telescopes, yet pulsing, moving, coming. The stars behind it flickered out, one by one. Back on the Erebus, Rhodes opened his eyes. He was breathing heavy. I gave them the message, he said. Maris stood at his side. Do you think they'll listen? He looked toward Earth, small and blue below. I don't know. Then the orb pulsed again, and the number changed .6*. The sky over Earth changed on the sixth night. Stars began to vanish, not all at once, not quickly, but one by one. They blinked out as if someone was erasing them from the universe. Inside Earth Command, the countdown hit 0. Rhodes stood before the world leaders, calm but hollow-eyed. His voice had grown quieter since the broadcast, but his presence now carried weight, as if he no longer stood alone, but with every mind inside Erebus behind him. The hollow tide has entered the system. He said softly, "Where is it?" Someone asked. He simply replied, "Look up." From space, it was clear. A darkness moved through the stars, not black, not a shadow, but a shape that light refused to touch. It made no sound. It had no heat. But it devoured everything in its path. Satellites, drones, even signals disappeared. Near it, and it was coming straight for Earth. Humanity had hours. And one final choice. The Erebus began to open itself, physically transforming in orbit. Sections of the ship split apart and floated like petals of a flower, revealing the full core inside. Not a weapon, not a bomb, but a gate. A gate to something else. A transformation chamber. Rhodes sent the final message. To all willing, come, this is your last chance. Step forward. Let go of the body and become more. On Earth, fear battled with faith. Some cried, some ran, but some stepped forward. Pilots, engineers, dreamers, fighters, mothers, children. Soldiers. Humans. They boarded shuttles. Not in armies, but in waves of hope. They didn't know what would happen next, only that the old ways had no future. In the chamber, the humans stood inside strange glass shells. The light pulsed. The process began. One by one, their eyes closed. And never opened again. At least, not in the same way. From space. Earth saw it. The Erebus lit up like a newborn, sun shining in impossible colors. Then it split, not broke, evolved. Dozens of ships rose from it, shaped like human designs, but laced with alien glow. No engines, no fuel. They moved like thoughts across the sky, and they faced the dark. The hollow tide arrived, a wall of nothing, erasing everything it touched. But the new ships didn't run. They sang. Energy waves. Patterns. Light-based pulses humans could never make. Alone. It wasn't war. It was resistance through unity. And for the first time in galactic memory, the hollow tide paused. It felt them. Not as prey, but as something new. On Earth, silence fell. Then came a whisper across every screen, every speaker, every heart. We are still human, just more. The Erebus was gone now, but its message remained. Change is not death. It's the start of survival, not the end. Asterisk.